inspire you to go watch Captain America one,
Testing,
two, three?
testing, testing, testing. 1, 2. What's going on, you lovely people? It's your boy Roll for Queen. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing good. And as always, I'm back with my lovely, scrumptious, delicious, handsome as fuck, and flavorful
So there's
homeboys.
been three Captain America. Well,
Fellas, please
four,
introduce
but
yourself,
technically
starting
three.
with Steph.
All right. What's going on,
Technically the
everybody?
fourth, but it's a
It's me.
third. The four, the
Oh, oh, my fault, my fault. Go, go, go.
Okay, my fault.
Go ahead, Steph.
What's up, everybody? I'm Stef. I'm back again. I guess I'm just part of the crew now. We're here to talk about Brave New World. It'll probably be cool. It'll hopefully not get heated. It won't get heated. I don't think. I don't think it's gonna be one of those. But yeah. I mean, I'm just happy to be here.
We're quitting. Go ahead, bro, because your mic unmuted. So go ahead, bro. Introduce yourself to the people.
oh snap! I don't know why I keep saying I'm hidden. My thing is showing.
Mine keeps happening to me too. It keeps going on and off with the mute and unmute.
That's weird.
So yeah, I wouldn't. That's my fault. Cause you said that last time and I was confused. But hey guys, it's Q. I'm finally here on time.
Word. Elvis, go ahead, brother.
All right, me, I'm back again. I'm really glad to be talking about this movie with you. It's been a while since we talked about a comic book movie, and I love Captain America. And no, I don't. I think these movies are complete crap.
Oh boy, here we go.
only one good one. All right, the only good one.
Wait, hold on. Is AJ not coming?
AJ might be coming. He's busy tonight.
Okay, all
But
right.
I gave the link to him just in case if he can pop in or not.
All right.
Word. So yeah, y'all, we here to talk Brave New World. Thinking of everybody who's tuning in, and thinking of everybody who's gonna be watching it once we're done streaming. So per usual, if it's the first time on the channel and you happen to enjoy the content, please be sure to hit that like, hit that sub, and turn on your notifications. We are so close to 1K, y'all. We are so close to 1K. But let's get talking about Brave New World because we don't have too much time. So it came out. There was a lot of talk about this. It was announced back in 2020 after the Falcon and Winter Soldier. And we heard a lot about this movie. Some things were true, some things were not true. A lot of the leakers had the narratives, but whatever. The movie came out. So we're just going to start off with initial thoughts. So, Steph, give me your initial thoughts about Brave New World.
Okay. Initial thoughts. I think if you like MCU movies, you will like this one. I didn't think there's one specific thing. Obviously, I'll keep it vague because it's initial thoughts. But like, there was one aspect of the movie I think it does really well. But for the most part, I think it's fine. There's nothing really. It doesn't do anything particularly like egregious, but it doesn't do anything great either, except for like one thing. I don't think. I think Derpy put it the best. It's like it's fine. It's fine. There's really nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
I probably, this is probably like a one-time thing. I don't see myself ever going back to this, but I feel like, I am not a big MCU guy.
Mhm.
And that's why I say, like, if you like the MCU, you'll probably like this one because this seems like exactly what they typically make. And it has all the things that I kind of don't like about MCU movies, but like at this point I'm so numb to it, and it's not like a unique failure that I don't really feel like putting it against this specific movie. But yeah, I mean we'll get into it, but overall it's perfectly fine. It's just kind of fun when there's so much controversy. Sometimes it's really funny when there's just so much arguing and controversy and lying and doom posting about like whatever. Like, oh, this is going to be the end of the MCU. It's going to be such dog shit. It's going to save the MCU, blah, 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 blah. And it just comes out and it's like, it's mid.
Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever. Always
Right.
fun. But yeah, that's it. All right. That's all I got.
All right, Elvis, what about you? Initial thoughts?
Well, I said at the beginning, I only like one of these films at all. And if I had to rank them, this would probably be like the second best one, but only because Winter Soldier and Civil War are that bad. And like, Steph said, this is just okay. But the other two are just like so much worse. It is insane. Now, this one's just like kind of just like kind of competent in like the most mediocre ways. Anyway, that's me.
Okay. All right, Quentin, go ahead, brother. Initial thoughts.
Oh man, I'm kind of oh shit. That Winter Soldier dig right there kind of hurt my
I've
heart.
said it. I've said it since it came out. I came on the
Yeah,
movie theater saying that
he's been
was
consistent
bullshit.
with that
I
one. He's been
yeah, we can
consistent.
vouch. He's
Oh,
been a hater. He's hated this
okay.
shit for God knows how long.
After we get through this, if we got time, we gonna have to dive into that one just for my sake. 'Cause as a huge Bucky Barnes fan, oh man, we gotta explain. You gotta give me some
You mean
details
the
on that
mute
one.
man who punches in that movie? Oh wow, what a great character! I'm sorry, his character arc happens in post credit
guys,
scenes. So
All right, all right,
guys.
all right,
off
all right,
topic.
all right,
Off
all right.
topic.
Initial thoughts. Initial thoughts.
We
All right.
should
All right.
have a part in the stream
Ini-
somewhere where we're all just shouting at each other, and then we can like post it as an out of context clip for engagement on Twitter. I'm just saying, like
Mm.
yeah.
that's free marketing, right?
All right.
Either way, let's
Now,
get
Go ahead,
back
go
to
ahead.
Quentin because we interrupted him.
my initial thoughts. I mean, I enjoyed it. I damn. I'm trying to keep this short because it's initial thoughts. Uh, I think um it is basically if you like MCU movies, you'll like this. I think it it corrected a lot of things that oh it's a very vague movie.
Mhm.
And when we get opportunity to talk about that, I'll go in a little more depth why I say it's a vague movie and the reasoning why they had to be vague, right? Um, but I liked it. I think a lot of the posts that we saw were for engagement. Um,
Mhm.
I think the other layer of that is some of the people who were posting. Oh, I don't want to say it wasn't for them, but I think it is a small layer that kind of sold into Sam's performance, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, we'll go into I'll go into detail with that a little bit more, especially more so with Isaiah's angle in it. But I liked it. I mean, are there things I wanted to be explored more? Or some things that they MCU'd? I mean, of course. But for the most part, I mean, it's definitely better than Civil War. It's definitely better than Civil War, in my personal opinion. Now, I'm not gonna say Winter Soldier because that's kind of, but it's better than Civil War, for my personal opinion.
Okay.
But nah, I'm cool with it.
All right. As for myself, I seen it twice. I saw it in theaters. First, but then I saw it at home. Because I had to do right by Black in America. So at first I thought it was and then the second time I watched it, I was like, you know what, this is decent. It did the job. It did the job. I felt that it did a good MCU. It was like a decent MCU political thriller.
Hmm.
I liked Anthony Mackie as Cap. He did his thing. Um, and I do think we could have done a little bit more with like the villains, but we'll get to that later. But overall, like the movie did its job. Like there was a beginning, there was a middle, there was an end. Was it a little clunky in terms of how we got to beginning, middle of end? Sure, but overall, I liked it. Um, this is definitely something I would go back and watch. Just for shits and giggles. Um, and I think it's a good installment in the Captain America series. Obviously, you got to slot some things in between, but yeah, I thought it was decent. It did the job. It did the job. All right. So now that we got all that out the way, initial thoughts out the way. Now let's get down to fucking business. Let's get to the nitty gritty. All right. So I guess Elvis, I think you do a better job of like leading these conversations. So how about you guide us here?
Okay.
I like the way you do it.
All right. So this time on the series finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Winter Soldier is. I'm sorry,
It
but
did feel like that. It did
it
feel
did.
like that.
It
I ain't
really
gonna
did.
lie.
I feel like this should have been part of the plot of that show because that show had no plot. Um, And so like
That's
it's so
not fair.
it's mostly fair because of what it was. I'm sorry, but even the leader, as underwritten as he is, has more going for him than the Flag Smashers. Which what was that name? What was their? Nothing doesn't matter. Anyway, but yeah. So it's I think like 2 years later for some reason. Um, and the first scene, which is very odd, and I feel like this was a reshoot, and they were like there was no reshoots, but there was reshoots.
We'll
The
get to
first
that
scene,
conversation later. We'll get
yeah,
to that. Yeah.
the first scene is Harrison Ford winning the presidency, which is very weird because they introduce him later and they act like he wasn't introduced before because they did that thing where like, oh, we're seeing him in the back and then, oh, wait, he has no mustache. And like, oh, Anthony Mackie says it's Harrison Ford now. And like, but we already saw him at the beginning of the movie. And so there's no point. That joke doesn't work. Anyway, and it's 2 years later. They decide to have adamantium. They got the Eternals thing, which I'm against. I love Eternals, and I think that they should never have ever followed up on it because I think that weakens the ending a lot. But anyway, they found out that adamantium's on there, and Isaiah Bradley decides to try to kill Harrison Ford, as we all try to. And that's where we start off. Like that's kind of the big thing. Like, oh, why do you try to kill him? And like, what is how's Anthony Mackie's Captain America? Sam Wilson, I think his name is. Is trying to figure it out. And I gotta say, I do think that Ro was onto something here. That this is probably a better political thriller than they've attempted to before because it kind of sticks to its guns a little more. While I think with Civil War and Black Widow and Winter Soldier and all that kind of stuff, there is a little bit more tug and pull. And I think that what makes this work a little bit better is that Sam is more of an everyman. I think they really try to hammer it home. And I like that. I think that kind of nails down his character a lot more than other things have. I think you get a better idea of Sam. I think and Mackie does better work here than he was given. Where he's like, oh, this is Chris Evans' sidekick, or this is just a buddy comedy with Sebastian Stan. Like, no, I think he gets to breathe a lot more. Anyway, you want to start off from there,
Okay. I liked that kind of angle. Well, you also forgot to throw in the fact that he was asked to start the Avengers over again, which that kind of gets thrown out.
That gets thrown. It was not worth mentioning.
When it's my turn, I'm gonna elaborate on why two things fucked this movie up. And
okay,
it's
we'll get to it. Don't worry. So yeah, that got tossed out. But overall, like the initial plot, I liked that we followed up with Isaiah Bradley. I think that was one of the better parts of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I do wish we kind of got to do a little bit more there. And I think that's kind of goes into like my other point too. It's just like I don't think there was so much happening in the film. I don't think we got the proper time for Sam to deal with everything. Because it's like he has to deal with getting Isaiah Bradley. He has to deal with with Harrison Ford's character, the whole Red Hulk stuff. Then he has to deal with, trying to stop pretty much World War III from happening. So there's a lot. Like, I like that at the end, he was able to address those things, but I feel like we could have done more with him addressing those things at the time. It's like every single time we get a chance to to take a breather, for me, it's not enough. I kind of wanted to see Sam struggle a little bit more, but it almost made it impossible for him to struggle because it's like there was like 3 different things pulling at him, so we didn't have that time. But and then to go back to the political thriller thing, I like it also at the same time too. I like that it was kind of straightforward at the same time. I'm kind of contradicting myself, but the way that the multiple plots worked, it gave it that political thriller vibe. Because at the end of the day, he's just trying to stop some shit from happening. So momentum. I think the momentum was there, but it came at the cost of us really getting to see Sam struggle. Because I think that's what Winter Soldier, in my opinion, and Civil War to an extent did better. It's like we got to see Steve struggle, deal with these certain things, but it lacked here. But again, at the cost of, I think we got a good political thriller out of it. And
I have an answer for that comment too, Monroe. When you say about the struggling part,
mm, go
it's
ahead,
gonna
go
that.
ahead, go ahead. If go ahead.
Oh, damn, I didn't want to cut you off, but
Mhm,
okay. So the main thing that kind of hurt this movie was COVID. I'm gonna be honest with you. It starts from COVID. So the original script for this movie, I'm a little. I got some cape for this movie because I got like some tips and some information about this movie very early on. That was I think it's a lot of different issues. So originally, that scene after Harrison Ford asked him to restart the Avengers, right?
mhm,
When he becomes Red Hulk, he's supposed to have already recruited Shang-Chi and She-Hulk,
mm,
right? And Wong. That's why you had been seeing Wong so much in some of these other shows, right? Like, that's why he was in She-Hulk, right? That's why he was in the end of Shang-Chi. Um, so what was supposed to happen was he was supposed to start like his leadership angle versus the Red Hulk, right?
mhm,
Also, because of COVID and scheduling, Sebastian Shaw had to be written out of this movie. He was much more involved in this movie, right? That's why he only got the one scene with the political angle,
mhm,
right? So from what I had known going into it, in my head, I was expecting a reintroduction of She-Hulk, and Wong when it came to addressing how he was gonna fight the Red Hulk, how he was gonna, what I'm saying, that kind of thing, and it was gonna
mhm,
start sowing seeds for for the Kang movie. I think I said in the last stream we're all on that in the Kang in the original script, his Avenger team is supposed to lose the Kang, and that was going to bring way for the variant Avenger team which took led by Tobey Maguire, not Tobey
mhm.
Maguire, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's what you said. Yeah.
so now backtracking to you saying the comment about him struggling more in this case, the way they presented this movie, they were trying to compensate for the fact that he doesn't have the serum because he can multitask all of these things, right? That was supposed to
Mm,
be what made him kind of special, right?
mhm,
Because he was able to take like he didn't struggle per se, right? That was supposed to be the feat, I think, right? That's kind of what
mm,
I walked away from it. Now, now that original scheduling thing would have set place, you're gonna see the struggle more in the other movies, right? Like in
mm,
Kane, because like I said, he was supposed to lose. His Avenger Assemble moment was supposed to lead to them getting dusted,
mm,
right? And that was his angle. And I still think that's coming. So if I spoil anything, my bad. But that's supposed to be his angle. Whatever Avenger team he's put together is going to lose to whatever
mm.
threat whatever threat that's coming up, right? If Kane gets his job back, all that kind of thing. That was a little joke about Jonathan Major. My fault. Nobody caught that. Nobody commented.
Mm,
All right. But my point is,
mhm,
um, overall, I mean, I think for me, like the Isaiah stuff. Oh yeah, and Isaiah was supposed to be kind of on some Winter Soldier shit in that original kind of like plot theory. He's supposed to be way more active. But the emotional core was his story, and if you like, I personally think Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier is the best thing that DC Plus did, right?
mhm,
That's me personally, right? And I may be totally 100% biased, now, and I'm not saying I didn't enjoy Loki, I didn't enjoy WandaVision, I
mhm,
didn't enjoy other projects, but for me, that's the kind of show that's kind of comic books I like, if that makes sense, right?
mhm.
Um, oh yeah, and, what's Isaiah's son nephew name?
I forgot his
Eli?
name.
Patriot.
Yeah,
Patriot
yeah.
was supposed to be it was supposed to be in this movie as well a little bit more, right? Because I think I don't know if it was going to be legit or not, but I think one of the young Avengers is supposed to meet up with him at some point in like a post credit scene or blah blah blah, however that works, right? But they were supposed to have that little thing and set him up for the Avenger Academy and or Young Avengers Project or whatever they're going to name it. But for the most part, I think it was successful, bro. Like, like it was toned down on the goofiness. Now you could say Torres had some goofy moments, but like it
Mhm,
was cool. They gave him a personality. I know
yeah.
it was small details that I liked. That he had a Miami universe like a hurricane shirt on. He's from Miami. I didn't know that from Winter Soldier. Like there are certain things that added character to some of the individuals that were like we may had the same complaints about not getting development in Falcon
Mm,
and Winter Soldier, right? So you saw one because I really think they set up him getting his getting his mutant form at the end of the movie. Honestly, I thought they were going to leave that a little open ended, but we'll see what comes from that. But I don't know. Like for me, Harrison Ford did his job, bro. Like that's why they gave the role to him because
oof.
I was
So yeah.
compelled, bro. Like you forget, my favorite MC movie is like it's Incredible Hulk 2, sure enough, right? But like I like those characters, right? Like I wanted Betty to be in there. I wish Betty had more airtime. I think
Mm,
they should have pulled that cord more. That they're small, probably plot threads that could have been fixed.
yeah.
And with reshooting, and like I said, the schedule really fucked this movie up. Jonathan Major is the main bad guy at this issue at this point because he totally screwed a lot of shit up. So like, so yeah, it had its faults, bro. But like for the most part, I watched that movie. I was at work. I didn't do any work, right? I didn't stop the movie. They were asking me to play card games at work, and I was like, nah, I'm watching Captain America 4. Kind of locked in right now. Because to me, it was interesting. Like
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody in the comments say like, the Eagles did more damage than they parade than the Red Hulk did. But I was like, well, damn. Damn. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, when you think about it in that context, but at the same time, what the hell is Sam supposed to do? I can't let him sit here. I gotta get him away from civilians. So why not bring him to an area I know he frequents, right?
Yeah,
It's a
that's valid.
thread for the Incredible Hulks to play on like somebody they care about to calm them down. So I'm gonna take him to a serene environment, right? Goes back to She-Hulk and the meditation thing, right? Uh, a serene environment that he's familiar with in an open field, nobody's there. I mean, it
It
tracks.
makes
You know what I'm
sense.
saying? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, for me, I mean, could I had more Isaiah? Can I had Patriot in the movie more? Hell, I'm mad Bucky wasn't in the fucking movie. If I'm keeping it 1000% honest, but like, all right, it's cool. It's this movie was strictly this, and like, I saw somebody I was talking to Zero Suit, and he was saying how
And then I'll say,
Misty
hold
Knight
on.
should have been
And
in the
I
movie.
also want to give Steph a second to talk
Oh
to
yeah, my
also.
bad. Go
So
ahead.
yeah,
No. I mean, I can wait. It's fine.
yeah. Hmm.
It's fine.
No,
Quentin,
no, no,
go.
I mean, but like, are there things I could have had more of? 1000%. But
Hmm.
like, if I'm comparing this to Marvels, I liked it more.
Mm,
Ant-Man 3, I'm not down on, but it's better than that movie, right? And these are two movies that I went to the theater and saw first. I'm gonna go support them on tomorrow or Friday. I'm gonna go pay for my ticket, but I had to watch it for this conversation,
hmm.
right? And I rewind. I reran certain parts of that movie multiple times. I only do that to movies that I enjoy, right?
Hmm.
Like even like Wakanda Forever. Like I watched that movie maybe 1.5 times, and I rewinded the part between her and Mbaku talking right before she takes the suit. 10 out of 10 dialogue for me. I love it to death.
Hmm.
I ran it like 4 times, but th- I don't know why everybody was mad at this movie. I get it that you were probably expecting more because you hadn't seen Captain America, you hadn't seen Sam in action. But if you read Sam's comic books, he ain't solving issues the way you think he is, right? The
Hmm.
way he solved that issue is how Sam would solve that issue in a comic book.
Hmm.
Now, did I want Demolition Man as a one-off military dude that gets killed off? Hell no. Did I like the way they did the Serpent Society? Because at first they were supposed to be totally fully racist, and just like the comic book. But I think they were too. That's a scary topic to do. If you had
Hmm.
to do it right, right? And I think another layer for the demographic that doesn't look like Sam, there's certain layers in Isaiah's performance I think only is going to resonate with us. Not saying other people can't
Mm,
like get it, but the way they handled him, the way they talked to him, certain things about that, and that goes back to Falcon and Winter Soldier. There's going to be certain things that only me and you know what I'm saying, and other people are going to like pick up on.
hmm.
And that's not to say the the other people watching the movie shouldn't be able to get it and resonate with it. It should be universal, to be honest with you. But it's specially made for those individuals. If that makes sense. Same thing for like Black Panther. It was an inclusive movie, but if you look like us, you definitely,
It
you know what
hit
I'm
better.
saying? Like
It hit,
it
yeah.
hit a little harder. So when he said, "Don't dirty my suit," like my grandfather had a suit that like he always like the last suit he wore with my grandmother. Like that was the suit that. So I understood where he came from. So if you didn't see somebody go through that kind of pain, or the way Isaiah talks about how he was treated. If you never really that's the scenes that's supposed to carry the movie. The
Hmm.
scenes with Betty and Ross are supposed to carry the movie. It's not necessarily the big fight scene. This even when you go back to Captain America, the first Avenger. He didn't have no big epic fight with Red Skull.
Mm-mm.
That movie was carried by the emotion between him showing he was a good man. And that's the
Hmm.
running theme between all four movies. Being a good man and not a
Yeah.
perfect soldier. When like Civil War is about showing Bucky, hey, I feel remorse for being forced to kill these people. I didn't want to kill your parents, but I live with that every single day, right? And it's the
Hmm.
same thing Isaiah went through. It's the same chords. It's just presented a different way. So for me, it fits perfectly along 1, 2, and 3. It's just a different vibe because it's
Yeah.
Sam, and you know what I'm saying, for me, and it's not 2013 anymore. It's 2025. So
Woo.
that's my
That's a
piece
bar.
on that. Y'all go off.
That's a bar. Hold on, hold on. I wish I could say that one more time. Say that one more time. Last one more time.
I'm saying it's not 2013 anymore. It's 2025. So
Ooh.
it's just a little different. And I don't
Okay.
know. And a lot of those individuals that, like I said, were commenting on this, they don't read comics. So I don't think they knew what to expect. They only knew what they saw in previous MCU movies. And like I said, rightfully so. But that's it. I'm done. I talk too
Okay.
much.
Okay. All right. Steph.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess. What was the question?
No, what'd you think about the overall, just like story and whatnot? Like,
Um,
Sam's journey, Isaiah's journey, like
I
the.
think.
Hmm.
I think overall, it's pretty good. There's nothing really to get. There's nothing really. Again, like I said in the beginning, there's nothing really wrong with it. I
Hmm.
think the biggest reason why I was so unenthused with the movie,
Hmm.
beyond just I don't care about the MCU anymore, is because the thing that I liked the most about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the stuff with Isaiah.
Mm.
And all of the entire
Hmm.
exploitation angle and all of the, dialogue about, whether or not the country would even accept Black Captain America.
White man spitting. Keep going.
Exactly.
Go,
Thank
go
you.
off.
But like all of that shit, his entire story, being erased from history, prison industrial complex, exploitation of black bodies, all that shit. That was the thing to me that made that show what it was.
Hmm.
And I knew that they weren't really going to get into any of that, mostly, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's like little hints of it. Obviously, like you can't, Isaiah being in the movie at all is acknowledgement of that, right? It's not like it's completely gone, but
Hmm.
like Marvel is in their little bit of a slump, right? The company wants to make money, so the first
Hmm.
thing they're going to do is say, politically declaw yourselves. We need you to make a movie that
Mm.
is a crowd pleaser. And at the end of the day, it's a company that wants to make money. I don't approve of it. I don't like it. I feel like they should have just let it happen, right? Because
Hmm.
this is a big
True.
aspect of the guy, right? This is a
Yeah.
big aspect of Sam, right? Is learning to deal and learning to be, well, not learning, but just living with the fact that there are people who just don't accept Black Captain America, but
Hmm.
he's just being the good man that he is, and he's just persevering through all of it, right? That's
Hmm.
but regardless, what I think the movie does do well, and I want to go back to the one acknowledgement of the Avengers, and then they don't really, the idea that they don't really talk about it again. It's true that they don't explicitly ever mention it again, but that's kind of what the movie's about. Right, this is the mirror between Falcon and the Winter Soldier that I actually do really like about the movie, is that like that show is much of a showcase of why Sam is the one who deserves to be Captain America in a broad sense. But this movie in particular, his willingness to, his ability to be able to get people to open up and connect with other people, his tenacity, his everything about him as a person. This movie, again, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is about why he deserves to be Cap. This movie is about showcasing the qualities that prove he is the one who deserves to lead the Avengers. That's what this whole movie is about. That's what it is. It is everything going on with him. The fact that he handled 3 different situations at once is why he is a big reason why he is the person to lead, right? He's always got the right headspace. He has, he's the most capable of being able to sit down and open up with people about what they're going through, what he's going through. The danger of not being able to have a healthy conversation about anything, that's all gone with him. And it's been a thing throughout every movie to a degree, right? The first scene with him in Winter Soldier is him leading a veterans therapy group.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right? This is just what he does, and this is just another showcase of what he does, right? So I think that's the angle of the movie that like really genuinely does work, and it really does carry the entire movie. Leader sucks. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think the leader was very good. I think I'll say this much. I actually think he looks kind of cool.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't like this trend of trying to chase the Winter Soldier's coattails and doing everything like super gritty and whatever. But like for what it is, I'm okay with them not giving him the goatee and the big forehead that makes him look like Green Yakub. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them not giving him that big ass forehead, and they just made him look like his brain
Chrome
exploded.
dome.
I'm okay. I'm gonna let him have that.
I would agree, but they half measure because they don't even do it like that big. Like if it was like a big kind of brain thing, that'd be cool. But it's like no, it's kind of like it's still like his head is still normal shaped. Just that he has ridges. Like that's lame. That's lame. Not even green. Double points off.
Yeah, he's not green enough. I'll give Elvis
that. I think he is green. I'll say this first of all.
His kidney's not working.
I don't mind the leader design. I don't mind it actually. I think it's a little disgusting for me actually. I think I find it more disgusting if anything.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what they maybe been trying to do though.
Yeah,
no, that's definitely,
and I like it because given he was experimented on and all that, given the context of the story, I don't mind it. Like I've seen worse. I've seen worse, and also too, I guess it does help that like I don't have too much history with the leader because one of my complaints was like, well, I wish we could have done more with him, but I don't know. Is the leader?
This is a bad adaptation. This is a bad adaptation. Sorry, but like I laughed my ass off when he was like, it was like an 87% chance that if I attacked Isaiah Bradley, you wouldn't attack me. But here you are, like, what do you mean? You dumb? Why are you so dumb? This is the dumbest thing I've ever read. 80% Captain America. Don't ask for my math. Don't take my work. But if I attack the person you love, you wouldn't attack me. That's what my math says. This is so dumb.
So I don't know the context. So like, what would be a successful leader then? Like, because I don't know. So I'm asking for context.
Well, to be fair, leader wouldn't be the kind of character who talks like that. That's like how they did the Humans show. They had that super smart guy, and he was like always talking about like variables and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like nonsense, just nonsense.
The leader's sort of kind of like a miniature Doom.
Exactly. He's
kind of vain.
So the plot is kind of like a leader plot, but he would just be like moving the pieces around, human intuition. He wouldn't be saying like percentages and probabilities. No, that's adding too much like actual math in there and like no, show the work. Show me your handwork, man. Show me your
Yeah.
notebook. Okay. Otherwise, this
Okay.
is all bullshit.
And
Yeah,
even
because
if oh, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. I feel like what I'm about to say is gonna piggyback off you. Keep going.
Okay. I was just saying, like, even if they were going to do the whole like probability thing where he talks about percentages of things happening, they probably should have, I would have liked if they went like really granular with it instead of just broad strokes like, oh, there's a 77% chance you come at me or whatever. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was like there's a 70% chance you're gonna turn fucking left and this entire movie's plot is gonna be different, like some shit like that, right? Where they make it like
Oh,
really
100%.
granular stuff. If they were
100%.
gonna do,
Butterfly effect.
I'm not saying that they should do what they did. I'm saying if they're gonna do what they did, then get real specific with it, like real insane granular shit.
Show
But
his smarts. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. I'm happy you said that, both of you, because it's like that was one of my flaws of the movie. It was because like it was you were telling us, but you weren't really showing us. You see what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel this character moving the pieces. It's just almost as if like the pieces were kind of moving themselves, and then he was just here to remind you, oh, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Versus in
Yeah.
other mediums where it's just like, oh no, you see this motherfucker putting the things into play. You see how he's moving the chess pieces. So that's why when I said I wish the villains did more, he's one of them. I was like, okay, I wanted to see you do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just do shit. Don't let shit happen. And then every 5 minutes, yeah, that was me. I was like, bro,
he's just taking the credit,
You're just taking the credit, bro.
Sometimes. Big brain.
Yeah, because no, go. Mm-hmm. Yes, because like because even then when he got a because for me when he got arrested, I was just like, I don't know the way you're moving in this movie. You if you really wanted to, you could have just shut the fuck up. You you could have just shut the fuck up. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. Um, yeah, so yeah, you could have just shut the fuck up. That's the way I was moving here. It's like you could have shut up. That's the way they presented this movie. I just like you're not showing us anything. You're just moving. So then by the time he was in prison, I was just like, well, I don't really care if you get out or not. If anything, you kind of voluntarily put yourself there just because you didn't show me anything that warranted you going to prison. You see what I'm saying? Like versus Harrison Ford, whose performance I didn't like. He deserved to be in prison because of all the shit that he did. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like, and I guess I can harp on that a little bit.
I did say though it did give me my biggest laugh when
I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I think we could have cooked a little bit more with recasting Ross. I think
100%.
homie passed. Rest in peace. I forgot his name. Homie passed, right? And I feel like instead of just taking that time to find the right person, they said, "Well, is Harrison Ford doing anything? He's not doing Indiana Jones. Hire him." Because notice, I don't mean to sound. I'm gonna sound like
they wanted a stunt cast. It's very much a stunt cast.
Yeah, and it wasn't a good casting because it's just like
Sam Elliott is still alive.
Yeah, they couldn't.
They didn't believe
Sam
Anthony
Elliott.
Mackie could carry this movie. That's why they hired Harrison Ford. Let's just say it like that. That's what it boils down to. Unfortunately, that's what it like. Technically speaking, I'm an Anthony Mackie fan. I can't really name too many blockbusters per se that he's headlined. You know what I'm saying? So I could kind of see why you would do that as a company, right? Go because like MCU really made their chops getting unknown actors and actors that needed like a rebrand, right? Because
Hmm.
Chris Evans was doing like not another team movie before he became Captain America,
Go to
right?
movie, by the
So
way.
yeah, great got that movie. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think you could do that with Ross because you had already put so much character growth into him, right? And I think
Hmm.
because of his acting ability, because of his name, because of the fan base is going to show up just because that's Indiana Jones, right? I think that could counteract whatever issue you had with maybe the bullshit Israel. I mean, Saba did not need to be in this goddamn movie. It could have been Elena, and that would have made way more sense to tie in
Yeah.
the Thunderbolts. Just being honest, because Bucky could have sent her as a replacement for him to help him out. But
Mm,
me that's just me
yeah.
playing Monday night quarterback. But I see why people like I don't even understand why she was in the movie, to be honest. I get you wanted a Black Widow Red Room connection, to Ross or whatever, but and I guess it would make sense because the president is working with Israel. I guess it makes sense, but I mean like it was just kind of why, you know what I'm saying? Granted,
Yeah.
everything that that comes with that, why would you even risk the movie? You know what I mean? Like you cost yourself a couple million just because you did that. Because I know people on the timeline saying they're not seeing it just because of
Hmm.
that. And I kind of was like, I was pissed off because I'm like, you guys champion Black Panther like hard as mud. We all showed up for that movie, but like we get Black Captain America and not no one can show up for it. Like nobody's talking about it. So
Mm,
I was kind of pissed off, but I was like, I get it because it's the climate and distrust in America. Like that's why we had the conversation. I don't know if
hmm.
anybody saw. I don't know if I know you got a different version of Twitter now, and y'all not on Twitter. Like I'm not active like that, but it has been a lot of discourse about the Wonder Woman series, right? And
Hmm.
I'm like, and they're getting pissed off because Tom King is doing all of this.
Tom
She's
King
dealing
just
with
doesn't know
things.
romance. He doesn't know
All right.
romance.
We are not.
Okay, yeah,
Okay. This is
this is
what
a completely
we're
different.
not do. Okay. Say, relate the point back to whatever this is. We're not doing a Tom King discussion.
I'm
Yeah.
getting back to it, but
Yeah.
but nah. The point is, I was just commenting on like you don't like the core aspect of a character because you want other assets, other layers of the character that's not really the core to be highlighted. And I
Mm,
was like, you're complaining about an American iconic hero that was made in America. Not like this character was made in in Greece, and it was a Greek writer that created her and then brought her to DC. That's not what happened. It was a guy that had a fetish, right? And then like he was from America. She's an American hero. So why are you complaining about the ex spy writing the book and she's somehow talking about the true symbolism in America or what the flag is supposed to represent, right? The same thing Steve Rogers says all the goddamn time. It's about the dream and not what people turn it into, right?
hmm.
Uh, to tying it back to the point, uh, damn it, I think I lost my goddamn point. But
Sounds like Tom
anyways,
King. But I'm tish.
but
Guys.
We're
nah,
not doing this.
but nah, I don't know, man. I think what I'm saying. I'm not mad about the Harrison Ford thing, bro. Like, I just think there's a lot of things you put in this movie that you didn't have to that kind of hurt you,
Yeah.
and then
I
you
I
didn't
think
agree.
stick to your guns.
I. Well, yeah. To put a point on the Harrison Ford thing, like I completely understand the rationale behind doing it. I get it. Um, and I think the way that he's morphed into Red Hulk, I think that's dope. Like I like like I see Harrison Ford as Red Hulk. I think they did a good job on that. Whatever the CGI, green screen, whatever the fuck, that shit looked dope. But if I'm talking just like as Thunderbolt Ross, he didn't sell it to me. It almost seemed like homie was just like struggling to make it through that movie, bro. And I'm not talking about just the performance like of Thunderbolt Ross, because we all know, he has to struggle to hold his anger in. I'm
Yeah,
literally just talking like just how he carried himself through the movie. It's just like it's almost just like, homie, bro, I'm just doing this for a check.
But is
Like
it
that.
because the Ross that you saw in that movie is not the Ross that you've been getting since the Incredible Hulk movie? Because it's the president. He can't be Thunderbolt Ross. So that's why I felt like it felt like Harrison's performance early on, right before he let go, was kind of like reserved and nice, and it didn't
Yeah,
like it felt like Harrison Ford was talking to me, and not Thunderbolt Ross, right? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
It just for me like that was the performance that like you couldn't sell me on that no matter what. That's how bad I thought he did. You
man,
couldn't sell me. You couldn't sell me on him one.
because the
And maybe
moment he was like, yeah, I don't answer to you or something like that, it got me tingling inside, man. It
no.
was like, okay,
Mm-mm.
but maybe that's just me.
Again, I'm not a movie. I'm not a. I did some acting. I
I'm
don't
not
have
an
to.
aficionado either, but
Yeah, yeah.
I
Like
just, you know.
I have some, but I can just tell when in my gut I just feel it's like, yo, bro, he didn't want to do this movie. Like I feel it in my chest. He didn't want to do that movie, bro. I feel everybody else that was in that movie, they were happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave it the all, but Harrison Ford just like, bro, bro, yo, I want to go home, man. Like, yo, wait,
Yo,
what?
Okay,
he's
all right.
70 years old. Disney keeps touting him out.
Go ahead, Steph.
Just consider this: the screenshots we got of him at Comic Con hulking out are really fucking funny, and that kind of makes it all worth it.
I don't even know if I seen it.
To be fair,
They're really good.
I kind of want to look at it.
Some of these are really funny.
to be fair, speaking of that, the Red Hulk did get my biggest laugh of the movie because I love when leader is like, "Oh, but I'll destroy his legacy." Okay, what's your big plan? Make him a big red rage monster. Oh, so smart. This is the smartest movie I've ever fucking seen.
Do I
Oh,
have this picture on my phone?
hold on, hold
Oh,
on.
by this point, yeah, it's buried deep in memes. I don't have any folders. I'm a moron.
Oh, damn! Now
Um,
I'm trying to look. I'm not trying to look for. Oh wait, hold on! I found it. I found it. Hold on! I found it, y'all. Hold on. Open image in new tab. Hold on. Apologies. I need to see this. I haven't seen this, y'all. I apologize, chat. Oh, this
Oh no,
funny.
that's not the
Oh,
one I was thinking of.
oh, it's not. Oh, okay,
No, hold
okay.
on.
Damn. Send it to me. But yeah. I will say this though. I will say this. It was good to see what I believe is a pretty accurate Hulk for the first time in a while. Like I
True.
really love the Red Hulk performance here. Like I feel I'm gonna be one of those guys. I still have a eternal grudge about how they did what's his name? Why is his name escaping me right now? Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Like I don't like that. I don't like this whole we're working together. Hulk, get the fuck up out of here, bro. Get out of here. Now this is Hulk.
All right, yeah, no,
This is Hulk.
in Infinity War and Endgame, where he's like talking to himself, that was so
No,
corny,
that's not it.
so
That's not
corny.
it. But this right here, that's a good Hulk. And also, Emmanuel brought up something. He said, if I'm being honest, it feels like Harrison Ford hasn't been this excited about a movie in a long time. Hey, well, hey, if he was, by all means, that's great. But for me, it just didn't reflect in the performance at all. Like it missed me 100%. But
to be fair,
what's up?
this is probably the easiest and fattest check he's ever had in his life.
Oh, of course.
So I get it. I get what they're talking about. He probably was really happy to see all those zeros on the check, and then he remembered he has to show up for work.
Yeah, exactly. But there is somebody I do want to talk about though. So I keep forgetting what his name is. What's his name? Esposito's character.
Oh yeah, Sidewinder.
All right, so
Okay.
I want to talk about this 1 second. Just,
Go ahead.
Yeah, you go first.
So I am really, really mad that Marvel keeps on teasing the Serpent Society about doing shit. Okay, I really am, because they did it with Civil War, and I'm telling you, Captain America: Civil War would have been a better ending to the Captain America: Serpent Society would have been a better ending to the Captain America trilogy than Civil War would have been, 100%.
That's what it's supposed to be called.
Yeah, but and then they made the biggest mistake that they ever made. So But then this one, right? We mentioned this didn't need to be in the movie. You know what? You could have gotten rid of the leader. You could have gotten rid of Red Hulk. You could have gotten rid of the Eternals thing, right? You could just have like the Serpent Society be the villains, and that would have been great. I'm like, when they
Yeah.
said when they first announced we're gonna make an Anthony Mackie for Captain America movie, like Serpent Society, do Serpent Society, smaller scale, domestic terrorism, that kind of stuff. Something where he can like be on the ground, boots to the ground, you know,
Mhm.
and like it's like so simple, and it's just I don't know. It's really a waste.
Yeah. I again, it's been so long since I talked about or watched Falcon, so I feel like maybe one of the reasons why they didn't go full tilt into that, like the whole domestic terrorism thing, because isn't that what ended up? Wasn't that the main thing in Falcon and Winter Soldier? Like they were so forgettable. I keep forgetting their name. What was the group of the terrorists
Flag
called?
smashers.
The
Yeah,
flag
so
smash,
I think they
flag
blew their
smashers.
load with the Flag Smashers. So when it came down to actually doing this, it was like, well, we did that before. So that's probably why. Because it's like
You sleep?
at this point, I, I kind of wish that they didn't do what they did in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then they saved it for here because I think I'm at this point. You done took the Serpent Society and you watered it down so much, and I feel like their only saving grace would have been if Sidewinder was more present in the movie. Like they made him more of a threat. Because I thought the first couple of times we saw him, I was like, okay, I like this guy. I want to see what they do with him. By like fucking an hour or so in, they have one more fight and then that's it. I think they could have really nailed it here to make him a bigger villain. But I think at this point they blew their load. So at this point, I don't want to hear about the Serpent Society anymore. You ruined it. You ruined it. There's no coming back from that. Like if Sidewinder comes back, I don't even know if I would care at this point because I think one of the reasons why people liked Winter Soldier and then Civil War is because like Bucky was present. Bucky was present. Like Bucky would pop in, pop out. But when Bucky came on the screen, you knew Bucky was on the screen. But then when this brother came, you knew he was on the screen, but the way that they used him, it's almost just like I don't care. Like if he was to come back in another, if we get another Cap movie, I don't think we would care. People would just be like, "Oh, this guy again." So I think that was the biggest missed opportunity.
He should have been like the heavy of the leader, you know?
Yes.
Because that's the
Yeah.
thing. I didn't really get that for because like first the leader hires him, and but then Cap foils him, but then like he's like, oh, the leader betrayed me. Like when did the leader betray you? I mean, he hired like kind of without out of his control, and like I'm gonna get the leader, and then he just disappears from the movie, like unthought out, just completely undercooked. And you're saying there are no
Yeah.
reshoots? Liars.
Yeah. I
You know
mean,
what the dumbest thing they did?
oh, go ahead, Quinn.
No, my fault to cut y'all off. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess they said that when the dude with the knives, that was antimanium. That's the first antimanium weapon. And I'm like, why wouldn't you tell us that? You know what I mean? Like he just whipped out some knives and
And
started
did he even
slashing Sam. Like,
did the Knights do anything cool? I don't remember them doing anything cool either.
Not
no,
really.
it was no, just a basic ass slash move. But like, I think that's another thing. You introduce you said all you like. I think Rose said. I think a lot. I think all y'all said this basically. Like you told us a lot, but didn't show us anything. You showed
Yeah.
us a vial of antimanium. You explained it to us. You called back to intern. Did all the stuff you were supposed. All the expositionary dump that you were supposed to do, right? But then again, we're supposed to see more. That's why I said they failed. This movie should have been like you said, Serpent Society, and then you should have played up that whole race for the Antimania more, and that could have led to Joaquin still getting hurt, like he did in the final
Mm-hmm.
battle, and then you start introducing mutations, people mutating on people or bios or what they call them or whatever, and see him turn into a Falcon. That's something totally different than the dynamic that we established in Winter Soldier, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you can start playing into like sowing seed. You had been sowing seeds of X-Men the last few projects. Why not continue that trend? Um, I think that's another thing that was really a miss for me. Like I
Can I
came in
piggyback
this
off of that real quick?
off.
So, going back to your point about using Esposito and all that. Like I mentioned that this was a good. I thought this was a pretty decent political thriller, but what in my opinion, this is just me. What would have kind of put this in the rank of the Winter Soldiers, and maybe I don't want to say Civil War because Civil War is Avengers 2.5, but possibly in the same conversation as Winter Soldier is if they did use Homie well, as Sidewinder perfectly, and they use the Service Society perfectly, and I think we would have gotten more grit. And the political stuff could have been in the background. You could have kept that in the background. That's nice, but I think if they used that perfectly, it could have been a grittier the political stuff is the background, but I think that's the grit that it needed. Like really, really make use of that character, really make use of the Service Society, and then you throw the animated stuff in there because then that's how you keep it connected. Whatever. You get everybody talking. Because I think the way that they use the antimadium, it was almost just kind of like something. I feel like the antimadium thing was kind of like, in a way, them saying, "Oh, we need you to restart the Avengers." It was kind of just like a thing that was there, but it didn't really mean much. You know what I'm saying? Like the animated it didn't mean much. You know what I'm saying? It was just there. But I think if they were able to cook a little bit more properly with that, there you go. That's how you make it stick. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't really care about at this point. I don't care about the X-Men coming back. This didn't do anything to make me care about the X-Men. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't care.
No.
But they said adamantium, 10 out of 10, man.
There's nothing for me. That was just lip service.
It really was, and I think a lot of this was lip service. Like I think some of the stuff that they introduced played well enough, but again, only pedantic nerds cared about where the leader is. It's been so many years. Are they ever going to bring the leader back? Who gives a crap?
I care.
Yeah.
I'm one of those nerds, man. It's only because like one of my fondest moments, is that movie, is Incredible Hulk, bro. Like coming, I suffered through watching in high school that
Me
bullshit
too. I suffered
Hulk
watching it
movie,
too. Ugh.
and I finally got a Hulk that said Hulk smash, bro, and I was so proud. Even the whole movie, like we ain't got a fucking recap of the blood in the soda bottle. It's so it just gave me a Hulk movie to be. If I had any gripe, this could have just been a Hulk movie, and we could have reintroduced, Bruce and Betty and
Hmm.
did it properly. Like you could have just gave me that, and then gave Sam a second season of Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe to tie in the Thunderbolts, and then gave us a Meteor. Gave you a little bit more runway to figure out how to do the Servant Society story, with grace, right? And be able to feed into more Isaiah. Cause I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like the main stars of this movie, especially driving the action, should have been Sam, Isaiah, Joaquin, and then possibly Bradley. Whatever, yeah, well, like, whatever his nephew name is. But it should have been all four of those in conjunction, not the bullshit like Israel Red Widow or Black Widow, whatever. Not her. It
I'm
should have
still
been
confused
all of
about
those.
that. I don't
But
get
then
what I liked her at the end, but I just don't get it. I don't
she,
get it.
the complaints I saw about her, I didn't really get the complaints, but I just think about like why, why was she in the storyline? Was she in the Sam? Was she introduced into the Sam run when he first got the shield? I just don't I don't want to believe like all of like the controversial comments that have been made about it, or the conspiracies about, oh, Disney's just following propaganda or doing like the mandate or whatever, right? I don't want to believe that. But then I have no other evidence to say like, oh, she had a logical. She was introduced in Shang-Chi and we didn't know. Oh, she was in
Yeah,
that movie. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like that. So, I, so when somebody makes the complaint about like, I'm not seeing the movie because like, why? You know what I mean? I don't even have a rebuttal because, damn it, you got a point. You know what I'm saying? Because like, her screen time could have went to somebody that deserved it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because it's like I think when I saw Winter Soldier, um, it had been so long since I saw. I'm talking about the first time when I saw it. The first time I saw Winter Soldier, it had been so long since I watched the first Avengers. So I was so confused as to why Natasha was like, "Where do I know? Oh, 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 and then you get the more knowledge of Natasha as you go on. So then it made sense. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. You know, they kind of come from the same realm. You know what I'm saying? Like more on like the grounded side. So it
Yeah.
works. Versus this one, I was just like, you kind of came out of nowhere. Because even when I don't remember much from Falcon Winter Soldier because I haven't watched it since it came out. I was like, where did you come from? What justifies you being here? And I'm not just saying that because you know she's a woman or whatever the political side of it is. I was like, I don't. Where did you come from? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you could have. We could have done without, or like you said, this just could have been slotted for somebody else. So in the end, I ended up liking her. You see what I'm saying? But
Is that
is this
even?
some?
Can we even say that? Can we say we liked her and not get
I,
killed?
I no, I'll say I liked her. She for me, she was
Who?
fine. But two things can be
The
true. I can like
Saba.
you,
Oh,
but
Sabra.
what
Yeah.
is it?
I didn't know who you're talking about because like there's like no female characters in this movie except
Oh,
for Sabra. Sorry, Sabra only appears for like 30
Oh,
seconds
oh, sheesh.
combined.
That's a
Let's be
double
honest.
entendre, low key, bro. Oh shit.
no, but yeah, like I liked her, but it's like we
She doesn't exist.
at this point in the MCU, when we have so many different characters to play with. But I'm sorry, I don't care how much it would have costed. You could have rewrote somebody else to play the role or whatever role she was supposed to be, or better yet, save yourself some money and just don't do it. Period. Because typically, when it comes to characters like that, you know what I see? Like if it's done successfully, you know, you see the memes of this character, you see the gifs. Oh, give her her own movie. Where's her solo? I ain't see a goddamn thing, and I only been on the timeline for 5 minutes a day for the past like month. I ain't see a goddamn thing about this character. So what was the point? But
It should have been the interjection of all of the DC Plus shows when I think about it, bro. Like outside of Wanda, maybe because she had her moment with Doctor Strange, but I feel like as soon as Isaiah got arrested, you called Jen, and that's your big moment of payoff from She-Hulk, right? A more serious role for a serious tone to see that character address the issues
mm,
that people had a problem with, right? Boom, the same way you did, you introduced Matt Murdock in Spider-Man, right? You
mm-hmm.
reestablished him, right? And then you could have, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
Or just
There's
make it Isaiah Bradley's nephew. I mean, let's say like it's been a couple of years. You know, part of like the kind of reconciliatory thing they're doing with Isaiah. Maybe he joined the force,
yeah. It could
I'm
have
not
been
mad. Yeah.
anything, bro.
and
There's
that
so
way
many
and
different paths
they
you could
butt
have went
heads a
down.
little bit. You know, they're like maybe they butt heads a little bit, showing like he's doing his own thing, and that kind of catapults him off to the Young Adventures because like I have a better idea what to do. You know, I could be a better Captain America than him because maybe they butt heads a little bit. Maybe he's like going into his own. He's finding his own path.
And I
Like a
think
Damien type of thing. Like,
Exactly, a little bit.
to piggyback off of that too, and I think that would have, if we did see those buttings in the heads of those two characters specifically, like Sam and him, like I think we would have gotten a little bit more screen time or more out of Isaiah Bradley versus what we did. Because for all intents and purposes, I like what they did with him, but I feel like again, this is one of the things where maybe we could have cut out one of the plots to get more because I like the beginning of the movie where he was mad. It was like, oh, dude, what you mean? You calling out
the
of
callback to
training.
the end of Captain America 1 was great too.
Yeah, so I was like, I like that, but again, I think that's something that could have cooked a little bit more, especially the Isaiah Bradley stuff. But I like what y'all were thinking about. That's good. That's really good. That's really really good. Um, there is something I did want to talk. I did want to touch on. So I mentioned it earlier in the stream. There was all this talk about, was this movie was reshot. I think, in my personal opinion, and I'll let y'all go after. This goes back to a conversation I had with Stef, and I think Quintin was there too. This goes back to a conversation I was like, the information that we get about these movies in this day and age, it's getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
Because I, unless again, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong after I'm done speaking. I did not hear this conversation about reshoots come from any legitimate source. This was just something that was thrown out there and then it spread like wildfire. So it got to the point
Mhm.
when any little fucking thing we heard about this movie, it all went back to, oh, it's because it's being reshot. It's because it's this. It's because it's that. It got so bad to we actually did hear something the past couple of days from the director saying, this we didn't do reshoots or whatever have you. So if I am wrong, can somebody let me know, where did this conversation of reshoots happen? Was it a legitimate source? And did people just run wild with it to the point where it affected their viewing of this movie?
Okay,
Please let me know.
Do you want the short answer? I'll do the short answer.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
The answer to, did this come from a legitimate source? No. It did not. Okay. It's leaker bullshit, as far as I ever saw. There are like pickups, what they call pickups, and those are reshoots, but they're not like, to the scale of what people were talking about, where they were like, oh, we're reshooting the whole movie again or whatever. They're just like, they go back and they shoot some extra stuff because they thought like, that take could have been better, and then that's really it. They did do those, but other than that, they didn't do so many reshoots that this is a $400 million movie. I don't know any of that shit. I mean, either way, it goes back to what we were talking about before, where it's like, we've got all this dialogue about this specific movie, and, more than just whether it's good or not, people were like stressing over the movie. Like, people were like really stressing over, like, is the success of this movie, is this movie going to be good? Is this movie being good or bad? Is this, people were saying this is the movie that makes or breaks the MCU.
No.
Like, if this movie is bad, they're done. Like, their goodwill is tarnished. They can't go back from this. And it's like, if we're going to really do that argument, and we're going to really point fingers at a specific movie that is like the make or break for the MCU, it's 10 times over. It's Fantastic Four more than this ever was. If we're going to do that, I don't think you can really do it with any movie, right? But if you're going to point fingers at a movie about like, which one is like, okay, the MCU is irreversibly fucked, it's not this.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Thunderbolts. I'm like, thank God, because I'm really pulling for that. It looks really good.
Me too.
Cool. Yeah, but it's like, if this movie's bad, that sucks, but whatever. If Thunderbolts is bad, there are like, it's going to make like $17 opening night. And
if Thunderbolts is bad, that's good, okay?
Yeah.
I'm expecting something corny as hell. So
exactly, right? If Fantastic Four is bad, we are never going to hear about that shit. But we are never going to stop hearing about that. That is going to be 4 failures in a row.
Yeah.
Ironically.
it would be extra tragic, because if Fantastic Four is bad, it means the Fox Cinematic Universe died for no reason.
Yeah, that's the other
facts.
thing. That's the other thing.
Oh, facts.
Those movies died for no fucking reason if this is bad. But yeah, no, it's just like, and it's also just like, what do people kind of have been growing to dislike about these movies, right? Sometimes the interconnectivity gets in the way of being its own movie. And now Fantastic Four is devoid of that until the end, right? It gets to be his own thing, right? Until the post-credit scene where Cracker Dr. Doom comes through a portal. But, other than that, right? Movie is its own thing, where you could do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have any creative restrictions, basically. If you fuck that up, then it's like, start over, right? At that point, that's the one that makes or breaks the MCU, or Secret Wars.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Or the 2 Avengers movies. Like, if those are bad, then at that point, we're at the end anyway. Like, that's when the soft reboot was coming in anyway. So it's like, whatever.
to piggyback off of that, I think, yeah, you mentioned it perfectly, right? The sources that this rumor came from are not legitimate, and this was so convenient because that one narrative, it gave the wrong people the ammo that it needed
Yeah.
to just already start. And because I really tried my best not to talk about the bullshit reactions to this movie. I really don't want to make the stream about that, but I think this it goes in line with the conversation. That BS narrative that started spinning, because those guys, the moment Cap put down the shield, the moment Endgame was over, the moment they saw Captain Marvel, they were already looking for. They already had their reasons, but now when you say, "Oh, reshoots," oh, it's because it's the black man as Captain America. I was like, no, well, if I'm not mistaken, reshoots happen all the time. The problem is that we have so much information now. Because I'll be honest with you, up until I started hanging around Twitter, or I think maybe it was around the time the Infinity War and Endgame came around, that's when we really started focusing on box office numbers and behind the scenes stuff. I didn't I didn't know what when a movie was being reshot. I didn't know this. I didn't care about it. We didn't care about this. Am I being wrong here? We didn't care about this.
No, you're not wrong. This is not info we should be privy to
we don't need to
until after the movie's out.
Yeah. So
right?
I was like, what? When did we start caring about this? Because now, like I said before, everybody's a box office expert.
Yeah.
Everybody knows when something is being. It's like, what? Where did we lose the plot here? So I think that whole narrative started at the perfect time, and the next thing you know, what's happening here? Sam Blackman as Captain America. We already know how that goes, and then now all of a sudden, it's just like, if the movie doesn't do well, if the movie doesn't break even or whatever, oh, it's because it was reshot to hell because they didn't know what to do with Sam. I was like, regardless if this, let's just say this was reshot, I'm still going to go back to my same original point. This is a watchable movie. There are a lot of movies that are reshot to hell that are not watchable, y'all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Some of I can go back and rewatch this, and I think over time it's going to age well. But there's other movies that have been chopped up to pieces. You can tell this Suicide Squad is one. That's the perfect example.
Justice League.
I had this conversation with Elvis. I like Justice League. Is it a movie I can go back and rewatch? No. Suicide Squad, I'm not even gonna bother. The first one, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah.
Because I still do, my heart of hearts, and me and Elvis has had this conversation. I still do believe, well, we believe somewhere in that mess there's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of the way it was shot, the way it was put together,
it's nonsense.
It's nonsense. I'm sorry. Say what you want. Be mad. Captain America: Brave New World, despite if it was reshot to hell or not, which I don't believe, this is at least, it does the job of a decently done movie. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. But
it goes from A to B.
It goes from A to B. But Elvis, what are your thoughts about the whole reshoot thing? And I'll let Quintin go.
Well, it's definitely, I think there are things that are going on, especially with the Serpent Society, when you have all these cast characters, Rosa Salazar and some WWE guy, I don't know his name.
Seth Rollins, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, that's kind
of
even
make the cut.
Yeah, exactly. So we see things like that, and like I feel like they were just, not that maybe they didn't reshoot, but I think maybe they just filmed too much. And then in the edit, they had we gotta consolidate this, because it does feel very vignette at times, or okay, here's this sketch of a scene of a portion of the movie, and then we're just gonna kind of just recap at the end, and we're going to the next part. So it doesn't feel like it goes from part to part, but it doesn't feel like it's a flowing film. Like it feels like it's more like we're gonna focus on this part and we gotta sum it up. We gotta really kind of condense these parts of the film. And I feel like maybe there's a much, much longer version of this that does kind of delve deeper into Serpent Society, into the Leader, into the Red Hulk, all that kind of stuff. and then we just got like a really crunched version where it's kind of like Justice League-ish. I wouldn't say like Justice League, where like Justice League, the theatrical cut is watchable as a
Mm-hmm.
film, as we came to agree on. But I think it's better than that because Justice League is also really insulting as a film. While this part, the only parts I was annoyed whenever leader was speaking, it's terrible. So I feel like that's probably the main crux of it, and I think that there is a lot of parts where you can tell like they're like in the edit going like, how did we condense this? How do we streamline this?
Mm,
And I think that holds it back because, as we mentioned at the very beginning of this, it does rush through things a lot. You know,
yeah. And do we think because Brave New World is more or less of the same runtime as most MCU movies, maybe plus or minus maybe 20 minutes. It's
Uh,
I think it's standard. How long was the Cap movies?
yeah, they're
Which
like they're like 220, 230.
okay, all right. Let me see. Runtime. Okay, Winter Soldier was 2 hours and 16 minutes. S I don't want to count Civil War because out, but fuck it, it's a Captain America movie. So the runtime for that was 2 hours and 28. First Avenger runtime. Um, 2 hours and four movies. So okay, I think we maybe maybe we could have left some things in. Maybe. Because I don't know what Seth Rollins' character. I like Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is my favorite character. He's my favorite wrestler of the modern time. I would have loved to see him in the movie, but for whatever reason or not, he got cut. But like maybe some of the gripes I had with this movie, they could have been resolved if we. I'm not saying it has to go all the way to 2 hours, but maybe the extra 20 or 40 minutes would have helped the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's almost as if maybe there was a more complete version, and then maybe somewhere down the line they got cold feet, and then they said, "No, let's cut this out. Let's cut this out. Let's cut this out." So, but like, but my point still stands. This is still a good movie. But Quentin, what about you? About the whole reshoot thing? Do you believe it? And if so, where's the evidence? Like, or like, what do you think? I don't know if you're muted or not, but hold on. All right, try to speak now. Hold on. I'm gonna bring you. Oh. Let me bring him back in. Apologies. Oh, he stepped out. He's gonna come right back in. Okay. But yeah, we'll wait for his thoughts. But yeah, so to coast while he's coming back. Yeah, I I think we could have cooked a little bit longer. I wouldn't be mad if this movie was about 150, ended up being 130 at the end of it all. Oh, hold
Yeah.
on.
Um,
Hold on. Quentin, go ahead. Can you talk now?
Yo, you can hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead. Say your
Yeah, I think.
piece.
Like I said, I didn't like you said earlier. I didn't really see anything incredible about it. Some of the people I watch are like reviews on like show. I think it's a guy named Nick. He was saying something like that one scene with Sidewinder and Sam in like the hallway talking. I think that after they captured him or whatever, he was like, I don't believe for a second that they were in the same room when they shot this. So when I was watching the scene, I remembered that review in my head, and I'm trying to see like what would be the indication that he wasn't in the same room. You know what I'm saying? Even if they weren't,
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what's the tell. And I didn't really see nothing. I didn't see nothing that didn't seem like a normal conversation. He was in handcuffs. You wouldn't be super close to a dude that just tried to kill you. So logically, Sam would be a little farther, right? I don't know. I didn't really see anything. So I mean, obviously, it was some pivots made, rather. You know what I mean? So I would say don't be surprised if you see like Falcon and Winter Soldier season two gets greenlit pretty soon. To go to your
Mm,
conversation about earlier when you said it feels like Falcon and Winter Soldier season finale, and two, has it felt like the movie itself felt like an extension of that show. So I would think maybe I don't know what the plot would be, but I mean like I think that might be something that you might see in the next few months, depending on how the response is to the movie. after the whole cycle goes through.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, I mean, I feel like even with reshoots or not, they made a the goal was to make an entertaining and solid addition to this trilogy or whatever the fourth trilogy is called. Um, it was a good movie, bro. Like at the end of the day, I enjoyed this movie. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna go as I was about to say, I'm about to watch it twice. I watched it for free, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna pay my ticket tomorrow, and for the most part, I'm gonna go enjoy that movie again, bro. Like it's a lot of scenes in that movie that reshot or not resonate. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty cool. Like I can recall it. Like I can't really remember too much of Marvels. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
me
Like
neither. I tried to before we had this convo. I can't.
I
I
like
can't.
Marvels. I mean, good.
So I don't like it because I was watching it in 5D and the share kept moving. It was a really horrible ass experience. Like I don't know why I bought that ticket. I didn't know what it was when I went to the theater, but every time they blast or threw somebody through something, my chair shook and I wasn't feeling it, bro. I was not feeling it. Like, and then like I
Sometimes the
guess
standard just hit, bro. Just standard is okay.
yeah, and then it hit me with some kind of miss, bro, because I think the cat shot some acid out, and I didn't know what was going on,
Oh.
and I was like, "Yo, did somebody just like?" I was like, obviously, because like I've been to like Animal Kingdom, and they got something similar to that in Disney World with like the Bugs Life, and it'll hit you with like some kind of mist because they're demonstrating some kind of bug, but to the point like I said, bro, to everybody's point, the movie was solid, bro. Like I don't see the hate. Now I'm not a movie critic. There's movies that I think are flawless that people say are like cult classics and not really good. I don't know, but I wouldn't know if it was a bad movie or not if it bit me on my ass. But for the most part, like I there's movies I don't like in the MCU, and there's projects that they've done I don't like. But this isn't one of them, right?
Yeah,
And I think I like to think I'm a pretty hard grade outside of some some leader issues, right? Some elaboration on other characters. I think it's cool reshoots and all.
yeah. I honestly agree. And um, uh, personally, personally speaking, I like that. I think Mackie deserved being on the big screen.
Hmm.
Especially leading his own movie. Um, so that just to be able to see that is cool. And at this point, whatever the movie does is whatever it does. But I think he did a good job here. And I kind of like the fact that Bucky wasn't around. Because I think it was their buddy copness that kind of led Falcon Winter Soldier. Of course, that's the name of the show. But I think here it was good that Bucky came in for those couple seconds, did his thing, and left. I think it would have taken away. I think that really would have become the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale if Bucky was more in the movie.
True.
So the fact that he came, he did his 2 seconds, and then he was out. I liked it. The fact that he's on screen doing his thing, I liked it. Could some things have been better? 100%. But overall, I can see this doing better like once it hits like streaming or whatever. And even if this didn't go to movies and say this was a Disney Plus movie, I still think that would have been baller as fuck either way. Like I think I probably would have enjoyed this watching this at home more than I watched Black Widow. I forgot about Black Widow. I can't tell you what happened in that movie.
I can
But
tell you because Black Widow is a modern masterpiece. I love that schlock
I actually like
so
Black
much.
Widow.
Black
I
Widow
like
is
Black Widow.
hilarious and it is amazing and it is the perfect prequel to Thunderbolts. So
I like I said, I
the
couldn't
most
fucking
the most expendable resource in the world,
oh,
girls. That's why
hey,
Sauber is in a movie. They had to make up for that line.
listen,
You know,
you're gonna get me in trouble, and it's okay. It's okay.
so good.
But yeah,
The
maybe
Thunderbolts be
any.
finna save us though. Just throwing it out there. I don't think anybody's gonna have any issues on the Thunderbolts. Just sidebar. Talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that later.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward
Yeah, I'm
to
looking forward to it
Thunderbolts.
too. It looks like Suicide Squad done good.
Yeah. So like
Hmm.
for me, whether this went to theaters or not, the fact that homie had his own, he now has his own movie to showcase himself is cool. The fact that he has his own supporting cast, you have Isaiah Bradley as a supporting cast, you have homie Joaquin. Like, if anything, now that I'm talking about it even more, like, yeah, it did the job because what he was Steve Rogers' supporting cast, right?
Hmm.
But through Falcon and Winter Soldier and a couple other things, now Sam has his own cast. You know what I'm saying? So for me, these are the hallmark standings of a good solo movie. I liked Joaquin. At first, I was just like, who is this dude? But then this movie gave me a little bit more insight on him. I was like, okay, I kind of want to see what Sam does with him next. You know, like I kind of like that he got injured, and that kind of gave Sam a little bit of that struggle, even though I wanted more of it. So for, I don't know,
And
bro.
to be
This,
honest, they probably gave us the best aerial like movie scene since like I mean so I don't know what y'all expect when y'all saw Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, but I didn't get what I expected in those final battles, right? Like the closest
mm,
one would be Iron Man 3, I guess. It's only because he had a bunch of suits flying around, but as in I mean, like I never saw Tony really get active with the flying with the thrusters, if that makes sense.
okay, okay, I
Sam
see.
got to it, right? So I don't I that now if anything was cut to hell that I do take away from it was the scene with them stopping the jets. It was way too many cutscenes because it was so because I was a real big fan of Maverick when it came out the last Top Gun movie or whatever, and
Hmm.
it had a lot of that. I think we should have that scene could have been that got cut to hell a little bit, right? But that's always a complaint about MCU movie fight scenes where like it's too much cuts, right? But I think that was one of the best and I guess creative ways of displaying why Sam is different than everybody else that we've seen in a while.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And now that I'm even talking about it, like I guess I can warm up a little bit more to the structure of the movie because it's like, um, I don't know. For me, I know there was a big issue about Red Hulk being teased and spoiled. We can get into that a little bit before we leave, but for me, it didn't bother me too much that he came at the end of the movie. It didn't bother me too much because it's like I think they did a good job of just like setting up the political stuff and doing all of that stuff. Like the aerial stuff was great. I think that's the best part of the movie for me. But then to get all of that and then for that to kind of be like the catalyst for Red Hulk to just like start hulking out, and we saved that to the very end. I actually kind of like that.
And
If
Red
we,
Wing was the shit in this movie. My bad, continue.
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, that's right too. Yeah, a lot better used. Way
Bro,
more
some of
used.
the
Yeah,
shit that he did to fight the Red Hulk and to fight the Jets was really creative. Like, as a
yeah.
comic book writer, I'm stealing, like, just straight up. Like, I just be honest with you, right? But like, there was a lot of different things in that movie. Like, like for Sam, highlights for Sam, and I think that's the most important part about the movie is to highlight Sam in a Captain America. Like he is Steve Rogers for 2025. Like in the way, like his fight, he finally mastered the same, like the grab the shield and the throw the uppercut, the downward uppercut. He finally learned that. Like it's a lot of payoffs from Winter Soldier, bro. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think a lot of people give him that credit. Like there's some payoffs from like and to the
What?
structure, I think they did it in three parts. Like you saw like the hand to hand stuff, you saw aerial, and then you explained the Wakandan upgrades
Mhm.
versus Red Hulk. But go ahead.
No, there is one thing I'm gonna give it a knock though. I feel like he was bouncing back from getting shot too quickly. He's a human being, bro. I don't know because like, even with the fight with Sidewinder, like,
So I've
n-
been shot before, unfortunately, and I'm not going into too many details about that. But
mhm,
if you get shot in the right place, you can kind of continue going. I got shot in the ankle, right? Like right there through my Achilles. It didn't rupture it, but like
mhm,
it was a flesh wound. It went through in and out. I was able to run on that while the adrenaline was going, right? I
mhm,
didn't really feel any pain until I actually got to like getting stitched. So, um, I, just to add a little factual, I'm not
Okay,
saying
I
he
could be
shouldn't
wrong.
have
Yeah,
winced a little bit more, but technically you probably could.
yeah, because
But
he got
go
shot
ahead.
in like the ribs, and then he got shot in like
He
the
go ahead, he
upper
had a rib
shoulder.
broke down. Now that I can't vouch for, but
Yeah, because I was just
I
like, wait, hold on. He like, uh, if I'm not mistaken, unless you showed me that he had like something bulletproof underneath, it was a little bit too hard for me to believe he was just walking around willy nilly after that. I'm like, okay, bro, did you take the serum and you didn't tell nobody? It's okay. You can show me in the deleted scenes. You
but
see what
I
I'm
even
saying?
like the doubt, the doubt his face showed at the end. Like, damn, I should have took the goddamn serum. Like, he said
Yeah,
that multiple times, and I'm like, yeah, that's some black man shit to say too. Like,
yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of bitch about something over and over again, right? Like, so like,
yeah.
I liked it, bro. Like,
But other than that, like I said, it was pretty good. But last thing before we touch, so the end credit scenes. There was only one. What did we think about it? It didn't do nothing for me. What about you?
Wasn't it just the leader just saying some multiverse shit and that was it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I whatever.
They just totally stole that from Zack Snyder. Let's be honest. It's the exact same Lex Luthor scene from Batman v Superman. It is the exact same. It is
damn, it
embarrassing.
kind of is. But
Damn.
uh,
Yeah, no, he's
everybody kept
right.
saying it was pointless. But I was like, I mean, is it some fancy bells and whistles? No, but like technically, who the hell's he talk to that has any information about the multiverse right now?
It's that smart dumb writing thing because like I saw all the probabilities of the multiverse. So being really good at statistics made you see the multiverse. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I think it would have hit harder if, like we talked about a couple like a while ago. Just like if we seen him move the pieces more in the story, I think it would have led me to believe like, okay, maybe you can see some things, but because of how the performance was so lackluster on this part, I was just like, oh, this I ain't gonna hold you. It kind of felt a little shoehorned. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like
was
Yeah.
it
1,000%.
this is what I would have preferred, and I don't mean to play, Monday night quarterback. Like this would have been a good time to go back to the beginning where Ross asked him to create the Avengers. So maybe he's in the room with Joaquin, and then he's like, "Yo," and then we pull up the different profiles. So this is where we see a clip of Shang-Chi pop up. This is where we
That would
see
have
a
been
clip
good
of
too.
of She-Hulk pop up. This is where we see, you see what I'm saying? So then I think even as a casual person who walked in, you're like, "Oh, whoa," because I'll be honest with you, I looked at this through the lens of a casual. I think if a casual compared to if we were talking the older MCU movies versus now, if I'm
Marcus
looking at it as a
Phoenix.
casual, I'm just like, yeah, I don't understand this. But if you did that, that's how you drum up hype for Doomsday. That's how you drum up hype for Secret Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that. That's what Shang-Chi did, right? At the end of the post-credit scene, we saw Wet Wong, we saw Captain Marvel. I feel like there was somebody else I'm missing. Oh, Bruce Banner was there. So
But
we
that's
could
that
have did,
recap. That's that like reshoot shit too, because
yeah,
that goes to part where like there was a part of this movie that had those people actually involved, and I think
yeah.
that goes back to they didn't want to repeat Civil War again. If that makes sense. They didn't
Oh,
want to blow
okay.
their load too early, I guess.
I think this would have been. I think this would have been a good time to do that. If I'm being honest.
You know what would have
But
been a little bit better and
what's up?
been really simple to do. Okay, and you wouldn't really need to follow up on it. Is instead of Sam coming to meet, what's it called, leader in the raft, have the leader in his cell room, and then have off screen like a bright light or something, and hear leader's voice, but not him saying, it's time for you to, to meet your full potential, something like that. Something. So the implication, even though it's off screen, it's a multiverse version of the leader breaking him out. You don't even need to pay it
Oh,
off. It's something simple, like
That would
and
have been good.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. Okay. All right. So before we leave, we're gonna do one more round table. So out of a 10, where are you ranking it? Elvis, you go first. Out of a 10.
five, straight five, down the middle, down the road.
Okay, cool. Um, Steph.
Um, let me give it a. Do I give it a 0.5? That's the problem. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
6.5. Okay, all right. Quentin, what about you?
I'm in that 6.57 range. I'm gonna go 6 point. Yeah, I'm gonna go 6.5. I ain't gonna do
Okay.
6.7.
Okay. I'm an outlier. 7.
All right.
Give it a hard. When I watched it first, I gave it a 6.5. Um, but also, I'll be honest. Like I mentioned it when we did like 2 streams ago, guys. I don't like going to the movie theater. You know, can you guess
Yep.
what happened when I went to the movie theater?
Oh no.
Can you guess what happened?
You feel?
I fell asleep, bro.
Oh shit.
I fell
Mm.
asleep. I fell asleep for
What
like a
time you
good.
go to the movies?
Bro, I went that like I caught the 8:45 screening.
Mm.
Ain't bad. See, I
Yes.
think you gotta find your you gotta find your movie time.
No, bro,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. For me, if you put me in a dark room, it's curtains, bro. It's curtains.
It's funny. It's funny you bring that up because
Okay.
typically, I don't know if she does it still, but my mom used to bring like a pillow and a blanket.
Oh, really?
She used to bring a pillow and a blanket to the
That's
movie
right.
theater.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can. Yeah.
yeah, because my theater got like the reclining seats,
Mm-hmm.
like the reclining leather seats. So she's just like, fuck it, might as well turn it into a makeshift bed while I'm watching Dungeons and Dragons or some dumb shit. I don't know. That's what she used
Good
to
movie
do. I
though.
don't know if she still does it, um, but yeah, no, it's just funny you bring that up.
I can't. Yeah, I can't. It doesn't matter what time of the day. I'm always gonna follow if dark room because yeah, I don't. I'm so serious about like sleep. I don't even sit on my bed unless it's time for. I don't do anything on my bed unless I'm going to sleep.
Right? Yeah, like that's like
Yeah,
I'm not getting up for nothing. Okay, unless it's fire.
exactly. So like that's the way my brain is. So the moment I get to bed, I turn the lights off, and that's just the way my brain works. So it's like, oh, dark room. It doesn't even matter if there's a screen on. It's bedtime. So then that's why I gave it a 6.5 because it's like the first time I missed things, but when I watched it yesterday,
Yeah,
I was like, okay, oh, I missed this. Now I understand this movie better. I have to give it that extra 5 points. Um, so this is good. This is good. But so listen, if you are in the chat, let us know your what did you give it out of a 10? You know, y'all could just go spam it. What did you give it? I got 6 people in here. What did you give it out of a 10? Let us know, hopefully before we end the stream. And if you're watching this on the replay, let us know what your thoughts are. What do you give it out of a 10? How do you think Sam did as Cap? I mean, where do you rank this in terms of Captain America movies? We can do that real quick too. Captain America movie rankings. Elvis, go.
Okay, so first one, Power Gap. This one, and then the other two are not worth ranking.
damn.
Damn.
If I
All
had
right.
to, I would go Winter Soldier and then Civil War. But those are like at the end of the pit. Like those are like not even. But if I had to.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Steph.
All right. The only real tough thing here. Thank you for highlighting my comment, bro.
What's wrong
The
with you, bro? What's
the
up with you today?
the
Keep going. Keep going.
the thing that's tough is Civil War and Winter Soldier at the bottom, right?
Mhm.
It's the first one and then this one, and then it's which is second place and which one's last place. Because like I don't like anything about Civil War except T'Challa. T'Challa's pretty
Mm.
good. Winter Soldier doesn't have T'Challa, right?
Mm.
So it's like it is a cool knife fight, right? That's like the one piece of frenetic editing that I think is actually really good in like any of these movies. I like that knife fight. It's really neat, really cool. The whole highway chase, honestly, like it's neat.
Mhm.
Other than that, I don't know. It's just kind of whatever.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so I guess you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Winter Soldier's at the bottom.
All right. All right.
No.
Quentin,
Oh,
what about you? Give us your rankings.
all right. Number one is going to be First Avenger.
Okay.
Number two is Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Number three is Brave New World.
Yeah.
Civil War will always be last because you tease me with Natasha remembering Bucky. You didn't do shit with it, and I'll never forgive
Mm.
him.
Okay. Okay. All right. If I'm going number one, it's time for me to rewatch this movie. It's been too long, but I still think I want to keep the first Avenger as number one. I remember watching it for shits and giggles, and I was blown away because I thought I thought it was gonna be shit, and it wasn't. I was so wrong. So that's number one. Number two, yo, I'm gonna give it to Brave New World as number two. I'm gonna give Brave New World as number two because I think with time, I can see it right now. I'm gonna fall in love with this movie more and more as I watch it, despite its flaws. So I'm gonna give it as number two. Number three, it's gonna be. I'm gonna give it to Winter Soldier, and number four is Civil War because it's. I can't. It's not right to count it as a Captain America movie. It's not. You have to call it Avengers 2.5. So that's where I rank it. That's where I rank it. And you know what? I'm gonna throw Falcon Winter Soldier in there too. I'm gonna put Falcon right above Civil War, but I think if I rewatch it, which I will do, it's probably gonna go higher. So that's tentative. That's tentative. But yeah. So y'all, I appreciate y'all having this conversation. Thank you. Also, we should have just called this Blacked in America. That's my fault. I'm gonna change all the tags on when I'm done doing this. I'm naming this Blacked in America. If I don't get any views from it, fuck it, I don't care because this is Blacked in America, not Captain America. Keep Captain for the white man.
How are you quoting Kevin Feige like that? And how do you know what he said after the movie's box office came out?
Ooh,
Ooh.
my fault, brother.
Ooh. I didn't think you were gonna go there.
But yeah, so I'm renaming everything to Black in America. So thank you guys for having this convo with me. Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, Quintin, and thank you, Stef, of course. But yeah, so before we leave, I'm just gonna give everybody a quick chance to plug themselves. Starting with Stef.
All right. So you can find me at Steph_man_IDK. I don't tweet. Fuck off.
Sweet. Okay, that's great. Quentin, go ahead, brother.
QQ22
Oh, I'm
or
okay. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, that's the same tag on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Still working on the comic. I think last time I told you guys we just finished the Black and the Inks. I'm just trying to right. I got in a car accident in the last month, so haven't been able to pay off my artist to start off coloring. So taking care of that, then we'll start that process. And besides that, man, I've just been working on trying to figure out some content outside superheroes to write. Um,
I
trying
gave
to
you gave you a good idea,
test
bro.
my
I gave you a
skill.
good idea. I gave you a good idea.
You gotta elaborate because I wasn't sure because I asked two questions, so I wasn't sure which one you were answering. So
Oh, I'll get back to you. Don't worry.
okay,
All right, all right. And y'all, per usual, thank you. If you're not following or subscribing, please do, please do.
You forgot
Uh,
Elvis.
oh shit, my fault. God damn. See, yo, on Black History Month, my fault, bro.
You
My
get one
fault, bro. Go.
pass. All right. Yeah. No. At the underscore Snickman on Twitter, and I'm just posting through it every day, man. It's, oh god damn. But
I'm
anyway, Yeah, no, excited for this. Excited for Thunderbolts, and hopefully we'll talk about that when that comes out.
Hell yeah. And also, yeah, per usual, y'all can find me here. Just here either with myself or with the homies. I do have another Jonathan Majors video coming out. That's gonna be the precursor to like another live stream. Probably if you guys want to join, Steph, Elvis, feel free to. But yeah, it's gonna be a precursor to a stream where we'll probably be talking about what potential roles could Jonathan Majors play if he was to go to DC Studios. But I gotta drop the video. I gotta drop the precursor video first. So that's coming out in the next. That's probably gonna come out tomorrow because I'm gonna spend the rest of the night editing. But yeah, look out for that. And yeah, just thank you guys for the support. Thank you to the support you've shown, the other No Politics Just Comic stream. Thank you for all the love you've shown. What you call it? The Ultimate Countdown. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep working, y'all. But yeah, thank you once again to my fellas, who popped in. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, guys, per usual, whenever we do these streams, especially the No Politics Just Comics, listen, hopefully, in the last hour 45, you were able to disconnect. I know this was another crazy week for politics, and there will always be crazy weeks for politics. So, this is just our time to disconnect, bullshit amongst the homies, and just talk comic books. So, hopefully, you got a little something. Hopefully, you were able to disconnect, laugh a little bit. But we do plan on being back. Um, I got to figure that out scheduling wise because I got some other shit. I work this weekend, so yeah, got to figure it out. But we will be back. Don't worry. But much love, much peace. Y'all be easy. It's your boy Roll of a Queen with Elvis, Steph, and Quintin, and we are out.